You walk in the door after a long day. You drop your keys, kick off your shoes, and there he is. Your dog, looking up at you with those loving eyes. He lets out a little yawn and then does that big, long, satisfying stretch front legs out, back end up in the air. You probably think AEW, he's just waking up from a nap. But what if I told you that stretch is so much more than that? What if it's one of the most beautiful messages your dog can ever send you? And it's definitely not what you think. It's such a common moment, right? We see it almost every day. When we get out of bed, when our dog gets up from his favorite spot on the rug, or right after we come home, and because it's so common, we tend to overlook it. We just see a physical action, a simple stretch to get the kinks out. Many dog owners see it, smile, and then move on with their day, maybe given a quick pat on the head. They don't realize they've just received a secret message, a quiet declaration of love. But then there are the people who feel something more in that moment. They see that stretch and they pause. They feel a little flutter in their heart because it feels personal. It feels like it's asterisk for asterisk them. They might not know exactly what it means, but they sense it's part of a special language between them and their dog. If you're one of those people, you've been on the right track all along. You've been listening with your heart, and that's exactly what your dog needs you to do. Because that simple stretch is one of the most profound ways your dog says, I love you, and I trust you completely. So let's break down what's really happening in that moment. When your dog stretches in front of you, especially in that play bow position with his front legs down and his rear end up, he's making himself vulnerable. Think about it. In that position, he can't run away quickly. He can't easily defend himself. He is willingly putting himself in a helpless posture right in front of you. He would never do this in front of something or someone he was scared of or didn't trust. So when he does it for you, he's not just stretching his muscles. He's opening his heart. He's saying, with you, I feel so safe and relaxed that I can be completely unguarded. You are my safe space. It's also a gesture of connection. In the dog world, a stretch like this can be an invitation to play or a sign of respect to another dog. When he does it for you, it's a social signal. It's his way of saying, hello, I'm so happy you're here. Let's connect. It's like a human offering a warm, open hug. It's a greeting that bridges the gap between his world and yours. He's not just waking up his body, he's waking up your bond. He's acknowledging your presence in a way that is deeply rooted in his nature. It's a beautiful, silent conversation that happens in a split second. Now, let's talk about the different times you might see this stretch. It's not always the same. If your dog does this big, happy stretch every single time you walk through the door, it's a massive sign of a healthy, secure attachment. He's basically celebrating your return. It's a ritual of love. What if it doesn't happen every time? That's perfectly normal too. Maybe sometimes he's too excited and just jumps around instead. The context matters. But when it does happen, especially during a calm moment when it's just the two of you, that's when it's most meaningful. On the other hand, what if your dog Asterix Never Asterix does this when he sees you? It doesn't mean he doesn't love you. Dogs have countless ways of showing affection, but it could be a sign that he's a bit more reserved or anxious. He might not feel comfortable enough to be that vulnerable yet, especially if he's a rescue or has a timid personality. The absence of this stretch isn't a bad thing, but its presence is an incredibly good thing. It has a goal to work towards creating an environment of such deep trust that your dog feels free to offer you that beautiful, vulnerable moment. And this brings me to something really important. If your dog does this stretch when he sees you, I want you to take a second and just feel that. You've done something amazing. You've created a world for your dog where he feels completely safe, loved, and understood. You are his everything. If you know that feeling, if your dog gives you that special stretch, please give this video a like. And I would absolutely love it if you shared in the comments about a time your dog did this and it made your day. Let's fill the comments with these beautiful stories of connection. This stretch is just one piece of a much larger puzzle. It's part of a whole language of love that your dog uses every single day. Think about how it connects to his other behaviors. Does he follow you from room to room just to be near you? That's not him being needy. That's him wanting to stay connected to his safe person. Does he choose to sleep near you, maybe at the foot of your bed or on a rug in your room instead of in another part of the house? He's choosing to be vulnerable through the night because your presence makes him feel secure. When he waits patiently by the door for you to come home, it's not just about wanting to go for a walk. It's about his world feeling complete again now that you're back in it. These are not random habits. They are deliberate acts of love and communication. Dogs cooey, ne tell us I missed you or I feel safe with you in words. So they use their entire bodies. They use their actions. That big, wonderful stretch is like a beautiful, silent poem written just for you. It's a daily reminder that the bond you share is real, deep, and incredibly special. So the next time you walk in and see your dog melt into that long, lazy stretch, don't just walk by. Pause, take a deep breath, and meet his gaze. Smile, maybe even tell him you love him too. Because in that moment, he's not just stretching his body. He's stretching his heart out to you. He is telling you everything you need to know without making a sound. Our dogs are communicating with us all the time in these quiet, beautiful ways. Our only job is to learn how to listen. Pay attention to these little moments. They aren't little at all. They are the foundation of the incredible connection we get to share with them. Thank you so much for watching and for loving your dog so much. I'll see you in the next video.